In this podcast episode, Lauren Maggers shares deep insights into parenting philosophies that focus on raising disciplined, resilient, and world-ready children. Drawing from her extensive experience and unique system, she explores the shortcomings of popular parenting trends such as gentle parenting, the importance of structure and leadership at home, and the critical role parents play in preparing kids for real-world challenges. The conversation also touches on the impact of digital devices on children and teenagers, establishing family culture and values, and practical strategies that empower both parents and children. Lauren emphasizes that homes often lack the cohesive structure and system that businesses or sports teams possess, leading to chaos, frustration, and disconnection among family members. She advocates for the creation of a clear, true north in the family environment, a system grounded in foundational pillars of the home. According to her, children inherently desire structure and discipline, which provide them with consistency and a clear framework to flourish within. Rather than parenting by chance or emotion, Lauren encourages parents to design a strategic manual or operating agreement for their family that sets standards and expectations, ensuring that everyone vibrates at the same frequency. Lauren recounts her personal journey of having 4 children by age 24 and the internal work she undertook to break dysfunctional cycles stemming from her own childhood. She highlights the importance of healing and self-mastery as essential components when raising children. Instead of unconsciously replicating patterns of perfectionism, judgment, or sabotage, Lauren champions parents working on themselves so they can help their children develop clarity of identity and operational discipline. The family, in her view, is the primary culture and identity creators for the children. They provide the living principles that kids need in their formative years. A significant portion of the discussion focuses on the pitfalls of gentle parenting, which Lauren argues can do more harm than good. She asserts that constantly processing emotions or accommodating children's feelings without firm boundaries fosters entitlement, role reversal, and a lack of discipline. Children are biologically wired to seek leadership from their parents, not emotional equals. If parents fail to lead with clear black and white boundaries and standards, kids may dominate the dynamic, eroding respect and creating what Lauren describes as narcissistic behaviors. She underscores that children need to develop integral traits like discipline, integrity, and character in order to be successful adults. Lauren identifies the core mission of parenting as raising world-ready individuals who can master themselves from the inside out. She critiques modern habits of giving children handouts for chores or rewards for basic responsibilities like taking out the trash, calling it a skewed mentality that undermines intrinsic motivation and personal contribution. In contrast, Lauren's system features contracts and gamified pathways where children earn privileges like a horse by demonstrating responsibility and contributing value consistently. This approach teaches children about consequences, accountability, and earning what they want, preparing them for the real world where success requires effort, resilience, and perseverance. Instead of shelters or careful warnings driven by parental fear, Lauren encourages reframing communication to empower children to own their decisions. She practices engaging her kids with questions like whether an action is for their highest and greatest good, helping them develop self-awareness and decision-making skills. Through this leadership model, children learn to think critically and act deliberately rather than seeking constant validation or permission. This empowerment builds confidence, leadership, and resilience over time. Lauren explains that rather than generic or automatic praise, such as "good job," deeper validation comes from helping children reflect on their actions and intrinsic worth. She models conversation techniques that ask children what they think about their own achievements and challenges, promoting self-validation and growth mindset. The goal is not to make children dependent on external approval, but to cultivate internal recognition of their progress and effort, which is critical for emotional resilience in adulthood. Family operates like a small ecosystem where foundational elements like values, identity, and culture are paramount. Lauren stresses the role of family mottos, language, and habits in establishing an emotional and psychological rhythm that supports aligned leadership and belonging. By framing chores as opportunities rather than mundane tasks and embedding gratitude practices daily, parents can foster environments rich with respect, teamwork, and shared purpose. This thriving culture not only enhances individual confidence, but also creates peace and unity within the household. Respect, in Lauren's framework, is earned through consistent boundaries and follow-through, not demanded or negotiated endlessly. She encourages parents to set clear standards, state expectations once, and follow through with natural consequences if terms are violated. This consistency instills accountability and clear leadership. Even at young ages, children can understand and align with family agreements when communicated with clarity and presence. The use of reshifting, correcting behavior by asking children how they want to restore alignment, maintains dignity and encourages active contribution to the family. Rather than protecting children from all discomfort, Lauren advocates allowing kids to face challenges and endure setbacks, which build character and resilience. She recounts letting her children fall and fail intentionally to build perseverance and grit. Resilience is framed as an internal skill developed through overcoming obstacles rather than an external trait that can be given or bought. This method contrasts starkly with avoiding risks or babying children, which she warns leads to adults unprepared for real-world adversity and prone to entitlement or fragility. The modern environment poses unique challenges with pervasive digital distractions. Lauren highlights that teenagers especially are at risk of dopamine receptor overload due to excessive doom scrolling and device addiction, which hinder their cognitive function, focus, and emotional regulation. Establishing strict digital boundaries and encouraging digital cleanses has become a critical parenting strategy to maintain children's mental and emotional health. She also points to parents' own device habits as powerful role models in this sphere. Reducing screen time and curating safe, low-frequency content is essential for fostering healthy brain development and real-world efficacy. Reflecting on her children's diverse schooling experiences, from Waldorf to Montessori to private schooling with private teachers, Lauren shares that traditional institutions often neglect teaching identity, character, and self-mastery. She's developed a life school approach that blends personalized learning with her values-based system, focusing on life skills, leadership, and responsibility. This includes incorporating private tutors, experiential learning, like cooking with chefs, and public speaking at home, creating a holistic environment that fosters joy in learning while preparing kids for life beyond academics. Lauren stresses the importance of parents controlling the cultural and moral influences within their children's lives more deliberately than ever before. Restricting sleepovers or exposure to families with conflicting values acts as a protective strategy rather than social deprivation. The focus is on surrounding children with influences aligned to the family's identity, values, and energy, as peer pressure and unsupervised environments can introduce discordant behaviors and toxic dynamics. This vigilant management supports the cultivation of mentally resilient children who are less susceptible to victim mentality. The conversation touches on gender dynamics in parenting, particularly the long-term impacts of babying boys, which can lead to complicated adult relationships and expectations of constant coddling. Lauren promotes a balance of nurturing strength, accountability, and independence in raising sons, pushing them through moments of uncomfortability, such as persevering in swimming lessons despite frustration. This approach builds their work ethic, self-discipline, and emotional fortitude, producing men who can engage authentically and responsibly in their future personal and romantic relationships. Lauren and co-host Michael explore the dynamics of parenting approaches within couples, discussing differences in softness or toughness with children and the importance of alignment. They underscore how missteps, such as overcompensating due to parental guilt, especially common with working mothers, can unintentionally weaken leadership and produce entitled behaviors. The key is delivering parenting with intentionality, consistent communication, and shared standards to minimize confusion and reinforce a unified family culture. Lauren outlines the critical role that morning routines play as anchors setting the tone for the entire day. Her family's routine includes device-free wake-ups, detailed bed-making, body purification rituals, affirmations, gratitude journaling, supplementation, and movement like trampoline rebounding or Tai Chi. These micro habits, consistently practiced, promote self mastery across mind, body, and spirit dimensions. Teaching these routines to kids early fosters lifelong intrinsic motivation, well being, and performance readiness, which are harder to adopt later in adulthood. Lauren stresses that adolescence is the most critical time to engage with children intentionally, rather than dismissing their difficult behavior as just being a teenager. Despite common perceptions of teenagers as difficult or disrespectful, she reports her own teenage children as her best friends due to the culture and leadership established at home. Sitting with teenagers, offering space for conversation, and maintaining clear digital boundaries are crucial. Repetition and reinforcement of family standards over time build compliance and emotional maturity. Extending family leadership beyond parents, Lauren discusses the importance of involving staff, nannies, and caregivers in the family's value system by training them thoroughly in communication styles, disciplinary approaches, and expectations. This consistency across all adults in contact with children prevents mixed messages and supports the establishment of steady culture and respect. The application of her system is designed to be broad and accessible, enabling families to maintain aligned leadership no matter the external influences. Throughout the episode, the theme of contribution to a greater team, the family, is central. Lauren denounces paying children for basic chores as skewed parenting, instead promoting the understanding that living in a home involves shared responsibility. Children who contribute meaningfully and understand the value of their participation are more likely to develop drive, respect, and purpose. This prepares them for adult environments that demand accountability rather than entitlement. Lauren shares how she abolished talking over children in her home, allowing even a shy adopted son to build confidence on his own timeline. Rather than rushing or managing their speech, children are given the space to step into their voice naturally. This proactive patience fosters authentic self-expression, crucial for leadership and self-esteem down the line. Helicopter parenting and micromanagement, she warns, stifle growth and autonomy. Lauren contrasts mentally resilient children with those who fall into victim mentality, highlighting that resilience involves creating solutions amid obstacles and seeing challenges as growth opportunities. Her anecdotes, like encouraging her son to walk home alone after a tough tennis loss, illustrate that facilitating processing, independence, and problem-solving builds robust emotional coping skills essential for success in the greater world. Instead of conventional, surface-level praise, Lauren recommends shifting language used with children to affirm their impact and inspire ongoing growth. Phrases like, "You inspire my life," or "I think you could do better," communicate high expectations coupled with belief in the child's capacity, driving continual self-improvement rather than complacency. This reframing encourages children to view mistakes and challenges as invitations to rise rather than occasions for comfort. Lauren drives home that boundaries mean nothing without consistent follow-through. Without consequences matching stated expectations, parents lose authority, respect, and effectiveness. Children quickly learn to test limits where enforcement is soft or inconsistent, undermining discipline and damaging family harmony. Firm, timely, and calibrated responses maintain respect and order necessary for healthy development. The episode acknowledges modern parenting's unprecedented difficulty, given social media, devices, and 24/7 connectivity that expose children to endless distractions, comparisons, and influences. Digital detoxes, curated content, and limiting screen time become essential tools to counteract these negative effects. This vigilance helps preserve mental clarity, attention, and emotional well-being necessary to focus on real-world relationships, learning, and growth. Lauren stresses that family culture is built not only through rules, but through intentional language, rituals, and consistent habits that reinforce identity and values. For instance, choosing to say opportunities instead of chores changes the emotional association of tasks. Reciting affirmations daily or sharing gratitude turns these actions into culture-defining moments. Culture creates belonging, which fuels empowerment and lasting behavioral change. Through conversations around parenting styles and cultural expectations, The episode touches on the long-term consequences of overprotecting or babying children, especially boys. Such patterns often result in adults ill-equipped for hardships, with impaired relationships and a skewed sense of entitlement. Teaching children to embrace discomfort, take responsibility, and push beyond comfort zones prevents these harmful dynamics and cultivates healthy, balanced adults. Lauren advocates for families to be deliberate about the social circles their children engage with, emphasizing quality over quantity. Limiting interactions to peers and adults who share aligned values helps prevent negative influences and peer pressure. She argues that the desire for sleepovers or expansive social access often masks deeper family issues, and that controlled social experiences within value-aligned environments promote safety, respect, and healthy identity formation. Finally, Lauren reframes parenting as leadership with a profound legacy impact, not merely child rearing. She challenges parents to reclaim their power by implementing systems, clear leadership principles, and consistent follow-through aligned with their values. The family, she argues, is the foundation upon which the next generation's mindset, strength, and success are built, and investing here yields far greater returns than any material or external accomplishments.